Hello everybody, this is Gruesome Fox coming at you with a 450 cost rated match here in the Pale Rider Ground Heavy Arms. We're going to be on a mass driver facility for this match here, and this is going to be another continuation of my Pale Rider series that I have been doing, where I'm just kind of playing the Pale Riders that are currently in GBO2 and talking about them in some videos. And the next Pale Rider I wanted to cover here was the Pale Rider Ground Heavy Arms. I think going forward we don't have that many Pale Riders left. In fact, I think we've actually covered all of the Pale Riders that have Pale in the name. So I think from here it's just going to be the Red, Black, and White Riders, which are all suits I'm very excited to get to, especially the Red and Black Riders, since those are both units I really do not use all too often. So really looking forward to seeing if I can get some good matches with them and, kind of seeing what I get out of that. But for the Pale Rider Ground Heavy Arms here, the suit is a native 400 cost general that goes all the way up to 550 at level 4, and the version I'm going to be using here is the level 2 at 450. I've been using a lot of the Pale Riders at 450, admittedly, and that's mainly just been because 450 has just been the more common cost when I have been playing. I have gotten some 400 cost matches with the Heavy Arms here, but that's something I'll get into a bit later in the video here. As usual, I do want to start off just going over the weapons and skills, then kind of going into the positives and things I like about the suit, and then just kind of doing an overall commentary about it. So, we'll start off with the weapons and skills for the Ground Heavy Arms here. And for your optional primary range weapons, you have the choice of using the bullpup machine gun, the Gundam ground-type beam rifle, or the rocket launcher. For this match here, I am using the rocket launcher, which is the same rocket launcher used by a lot of ground-type Federation suits. For your main melee weapon, you have the Beam Saber Enhanced ×2. For your secondary weapons, you have the Head Vulcan Enhanced, you have an Arm Beam Gun, you have a pair of Leg 3-2 missile pods, and then you have the expandable 180mm cannon. And then for more defensive purposes, you have the Striker Shield. And then looking at the skills here, you do get emergency evasion systems, you get a dodge roll, you have high performance balancer, melee combo control level 1, so you get 2 melee swings with the beam sabers, you have high performance radar level 2, high performance scope level 2, you have the Hades ability boost, and then pairing with that shield is going to be the shield tackle skill, where you get increased tackle damage if your shield is still in one piece. And that's going to lead me into the positives and things I like about the ground type here. I do like having the tackle skill on this because the Pale Rider Ground Heavy Arms here does seem like it's meant to be more of a melee focused suit when looking at the stats, and having that extra tackle damage I think could be useful for a suit such as this. I don't think the space type gets the tackle skill because that one uses a completely different shield, so kind of cool to see it on this suit here, because again you do get that Gym Striker style of shield. And the other two positives I want to mention here are two of its weapons. One of those is going to be the 180mm foldable cannon. Really like this cannon because even though it does only have one shot before it has to reload, it is very accurate, it does do some pretty nice damage, and it also causes a heavy stagger. So kind of going back to the ground type here being a bit more melee oriented, it does give you a good opportunity to go in and use your melee if you land the heavy stagger. Unfortunately, I did land the heavy stagger on the Makuve's goof there, though I think because of Makuve's goof, I think because of its skills, I don't think it got heavy staggered. I think it only got a normal stun, so really thankful for there that I didn't accidentally heavy stagger my teammate. I actually was not expecting to have that much of a radius with the cannon, so I guess the Makuve's goof was just close enough to where it was able to land on them as well. But the last positive I have here for the other weapon is going to be those leg missile pods. I'm just kind of a sucker for leg missile pods. I do like using them on a lot of suits that have them. That kind of just goes for missiles in general, though. I think it's a nice weapon to have if, like, you can't go in for a melee, but you also don't want to risk like stunning your teammate, like I accidentally did there with our Pixie. At least I believe that was our Pixie, but yeah, what we did with our Pixie there, where I ended up hitting him with the heavy stagger. That one did heavy stagger, unfortunately, so having the missiles is a nice alternative if you want to get damage in, but don't want to accidentally stun somebody, so I really do like that. Now, unfortunately, that is where many of my positives with the ground heavy arms ends here. And before I kind of just start talking about the suit as a whole, I do want to just bring up that I think a lot of this is more personal. I mean, that's really a lot of my videos, honestly. It's usually a lot of my personal thoughts on a lot of these suits, but with the ground heavy arms here, it's kind of really personal because, like, I will admit, I do not like playing the suit in the slightest. I think compared to many of the other Pale Riders that I have played for this series, the ground heavy arms has been one of the least enjoyable for me to use. I don't know if it's just its playstyle is just not for me. Because again, like I feel like the suit is trying to lean a bit more into the melee aspect, but at the same time, I'm not really too sure, so it's going to make it a bit hard to really talk about this suit in great detail. I will mention, though, some things I would like to see changed about the ground heavy arms, though. Something I mentioned with my Pale Rider Space Type video is the arm beam gun. I'm pretty sure this and the Space Type have the same arm beam gun, so that I would like to see buffed in a future update. I think another thing that really holds this suit back for me is its optional primaries. I really don't think its primaries are that good compared to, again, say, the Pale Rider Space Type. Pale Rider Space Type, you get the Hyper Bazooka or the Hyper Beam Rifle, and I think both of those are pretty decent weapons, but for the ground heavy arms here, you do get the Rocket Launcher or the Gundam Ground Type Beam Rifle, which I usually don't have many, like, negative opinions on those weapons. I do quite like the Gundam Ground Type Beam Rifle on the few suits I play that use it, and again, Rocket Launcher, I don't have anything too strong to say about it, but on the Pale Rider Ground Type here, again, I just don't think these weapons really work all too well. I think the last thing maybe would be like some improvement to the melee damage. I don't know, maybe. Again, it's just a really hard suit for me to talk about because I feel like a lot of it is just, I personally do not just vibe with this suit compared to many of the other Pale Riders, and I think a lot of it is just on me when it comes to this suit, so I'm going to leave it there when it comes to just like some things I'd like to change about this suit, because again, beam gun I've talked about, and maybe some improvements to its primaries. But real quick, let's see how we did here with the Pale Rider Ground Heavy Arms before we start wrapping things up here. And did beat my rival for this match, even though I didn't get on the board. And 4th place with 3 kills and 2 loss. So I'm not too shabby of a match there with the Ground Heavy Arms. That is something I also wanted to bring up as well. I mentioned it, how I played the suit at 400. Yeah, I've used the suit mainly at 400 and 450, and man, was it so hard to get like a pretty good match in it. So yeah, like just trying to get a good match with this suit too was just also very difficult, a lot harder compared to, again, like the other Pale Riders I've played. So yeah, it's a hard one for me to really like make a solid conclusion on, because it's like, oh yeah, like maybe it is just me. Maybe I just don't like playing the ground type like at all. Maybe its playstyle is just not for me. But I definitely do think the suit could use an overall adjustment. Very similar to the Pale Rider Space Type. Again, buff that beam gun. Just kind of give it some increases to its overall stats. Maybe add some new skills or something. But yeah, I'm going to end it here because, again, I really don't have too much else to say about the not the Space Type, but the Ground Type here, other than it really just is not a suit for me. So yeah, that's going to be everything I have for this video here. I'm kind of thinking of doing a tier list for the Pale Riders once I've done like videos on all of them. I'm just kind of thinking about how I want to do that, if I want to do like a video format, or maybe just have it on my community tab on my channel, where like I just have the tier list up there. I'm not really sure yet, but comment down below what you think about the tier list idea, if you think of any ways that you might want to see me do that, or if you want me to do a tier list to begin with. Also, let me know your thoughts on the Pale Rider Ground Heavy Arms. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy.